Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is the second video of the playlist for cloning a Disney Plus website using MERN stack. In this video, we are going to make the structure for the front-end user page like for example, making some file, installing the Tailwind, and so on. So in here, I already have my command prompt open up, and I already inside of the directory that I want to make the project. And how to make the project, it is just simple. You just have to write a command called npx create react app, and then and then the and then the name of the project. If you want to make it as a folder, here you should up you should write your project name, or if you want to make it inside of this directory, you just have to type dot and slash. It will make the project inside of this full project directory. But since I want to make a new folder here, I'm just going to type Netflix Disney clone MERN. I will enter. Now just need to wait. As you can see here, we got creating a new app instead of here. We'll pause it. And now the creating is done. We can set it to that project. We will set it to the Disney clone MERN. Then open it up using code.command. I open it up in a Visual Studio Code, but you can use whatever your IDE is. Now let's try to run it first. I will cls and then type yarn start. I use yarn in this case. Enter and wait until the website is opening. The server is already running, and let's open it up in a web browser. Refresh it, and you should getting this view of the website. If you are not getting this, that means there's something wrong with your project. After we're done starting the server, we can now stop it with a Control C. It will automatically stop the server. And now let's open up the Tailwind documentation here. We are going to install Tailwind first. We are going to install the Tailwind CSS using npm install and npx tailwind. I will copy the code and paste it here. Enter. It will automatically install the npm tailwind and init the Tailwind CSS. We got some high severity vulnerabilities, but it is fine. There's nothing to worry about. And after you install it, you will see there is some folder of all our file is new. Like for example, this file, we get a new tailwind config.js. In here, we are going to setting up our tailwind CSS config. Like for example, if we want to add a custom size, color, or font size, we can set it inside of the tailwind config.css. And here we got the configure your template path. I will copy it and paste it here. It changed the content value. Now I will add Tailwind directive to your CSS. I will copy and then go to the source, and inside of this index.css, I will put that code. So this means it will import the Tailwind to this index.css. And why we put it in an index.css? Because if we are putting it in a, like for example, navbar.css, the tailwind is just will work for the navbar, not for all of the page. But if we use it in the index.css, it will work through all of the page in a website. Now start the tailwind CLI. I think we don't need it. Now let's start using the tailwind CSS. Like for example, we go to the app.js, and here I'm going to make this learn React. I will make it same like in here. It is a text XL font bold and underline. I will copy the style and paste it inside of this class name and an A tag. Save. Go to here. Refresh. Oh yeah, we are not yet running the server again. Now let's type yarn start one more time to to run the server. Just need to wait. I will go to here. So then after the server is running, we can immediately see the website. Still starting process. Starting the development server. It is starting to load. Okay. And now errors are already loaded. And as you can see here, the anchor check of the learn React is bold, the 3XL font size, and underlined. That means our Tailwind CSS config is working. Now, let's try to add some more file inside of our project. Minimize the web browser, go to the Explorer, and in here I'm going to delete some of this file, like for example app.test.js, logo.svg, report web vital, and then setup test. We'll delete it. Wait for the deleting process. Now go to your index.js and don't forget to delete all of this test code because we are not need and we don't have that file anymore. So if you don't erase this import code, it will make an error. Now after I delete it, let's see how it looks in the website. It should be nothing. We got the logo is not defined in line 7 here. Okay, you just have to. And also I'm going to delete this header tag and just keep the class name app or the app div. Now let's see. We got a blank page. Good, because that is what we want. Now let's develop our home page. I'm going to make a few folders here. Like for example, the first one is page, and the second one is going to be components. Now let's make a new page inside of this page. I will make a home.jsx and write ref.c in here. It will automatically make a new basic structure of the React file. After that, I'm going to import this home page to the app.js. Home, and then I will control space to import it and save it. Later, or maybe in this video, I will install the React router DOM to make a router in this website. So then we can access a different a different page using a different path. We got the home. Now let's make other pages, like for example the login. I mean the search.jsx, and then what's.jsx. This is going to be the page that is this is going to be the movie detail page where we can watch our movie. And then the subscribe.jsx and the watch list.jsx. And also, I think that's it. Now let's write rough C for all of this, for making just a simple or basic structure of the React file. Save, and then let's import all of this inside of the app.js. We'll put it in here. So after home, we'll add search or not search. This search is going to coming out after the user clicks see more result, so it will not add in here. What we are going to add is just watch, and then the subscribe, and also the search is in here, and also the watch list. But before we are developing any of this, we are going to also make some component or basic structure component, like the navbar.jsx and the footer. Write rough C, save, rough C, and then save. I'm not going to cut it for now. I'm just going to import a navbar and the footer below it. Footer. Save. And now let's see how it looks. Get the navbar, home, what, subscribe, search, watch list, and then the footer. Let's make a router for it. To do that, first what we are going to do is install the React Router DOM, and make sure to check what React Router DOM that you use. In mine is version 6. You may be using version 5, or maybe if you are watching it in the future, maybe you will use the version 7, so it will be different. If there is something different, just read it in the updated documentation, and there you will see what is the syntax is replaced for. Now let's ls and then yarn add React Router DOM. This is the package that we are going to use for making the router. Enter to install it. Still installing here. Maybe this was a little bit long, so I will just skip it until the package is done, until the installing is done. And finally, the installing is done. We can check out our browser again, and it should be nothing changed here. We can search for the React Router DOM physics documentation and click it. If you are using version 5, there is something already replaced in a React Router version 6. Like for example, if you use switch, it is replaced by the roots. If you are using use history, if you are using use history, it is replaced by the use navigate. So go to the app.js, and then here we are going to set our routes. First, I will copy the import from here. So what we need is browser router, routes, and root. I will copy it from here. Just copy this one, not the render here. So I'm going to copy and then paste it here. Give it some space so that we can give it some divider for the import for the page and import for the package. Now wrap all of this inside of the browser router. You can also make it like this, so browser router as router. So we don't use this browser router as a name, as a tag name. We will use the router as a tag name. It is optional. If you want to use it like this, you can do it, or if you want to just stay in the default like browser router, it's okay. Now wrap all of this to a router and then wrap this inside of here. Oops, I forgot to move the close of the div. And as you can see here, we have the app.js. That means we can use our beautifying package, because if I use it, like for example Alt-Shift-F, it will format it as a JS file, not as a React file. So if you want, you can make it app.jsx. But in this video, I will just keep it as a app.js. And after I wrap it inside of the router, I will wrap all of this page inside of our routes. I'm sorry, this is not like this. It is routes. Inside of this route, we will have the root. I will pass it and then make it like this. I will verify it by myself. And root. Now I will make the root tag in here. It will be a self-closing tag, root, and then path equal to some string, and element is equal to this. Here, I will cut it and then put it inside of this element. Save, and then we will change all of this path. Like for example, the home is slash, the watch is slash watch, the subscribe is slash subscribe, and for the search is going to be slash search, and for the watch list is going to be slash watch list. Save it, and now let's see it in a website. As you can see here, we're just getting the home, but what if we go to the watch? We got the watch, and if I go to the subscribe, oh sorry, I think I misspelled it, subscribe, save, and then go here, we got the subscribe. Nice, but we also have to add some extra attribute inside of here, and that is exact. Something like this, I think. Or maybe we are not using that exact in the version 6 anymore, but maybe if you are still using the version 5, it will be still needed this exact attribute. After we save it, we got the router of the website. I can go to the watch, I can go to the subscribe. Oh yeah, I forgot to ask here, and so on. Now let's make our first component, and that is the navbar. But I'm going to style a little bit for this page, or for all of this page. I will go to the index.css, and here I'm going to give it some background, overflow X, and so on to the body. After this most OS X font smoothing, it will be a color white. And why am I setting this color to the white? Because the background of the website is going to be something like black. The background is going to be 0C111 then B. This is the color that I get from the Disney Plus. After I change it, save, and then go to the website. And here, as you can see, we get the same background as in the demo website. And all of this text is changing to the white. Now let's go to the navbar.jsx. And here I'm going to change this div to something like maybe React fragment. It will be just empty tag without name tag. And after that, we are going to have a nav tag in here, nav, and then I'm going to give it a class name equal to relative, and then flex wrap, item center, justify, when, px2, py3, biggie is main color, and this I'm going to set this main color instead of this tailwind config.js. As I told you before, in the tailwind config, we will be setting some of the custom value of the tailwind CSS property. I will edit instead of this extends, and then colors. If you edit this colors outside of this extend, it will replace all of the color and then just change it to the color that you input inside of these colors. But if you are putting it inside of the extend, it will just add some more custom color inside of the CSS, inside of the Tailwind color library. So I will make a new color here. Main color is equal to same like in a index.js, index.css, the background color here, and I will add comma because we will add some more color in later. After we add that, we are going back to the navbar.jsx and add some more class. After we add the background is main color. Now we are going to give it some margin bottom is equal to 3. Inside of this nav, we will have a div. Let's have a class name equal to width is full. Padding x, it means padding right and left is 4. mx is auto. For the margin left and right is auto. Flex, justify start, and then LG. This means if you are using LG, this means this CSS property is just going to apply in a device width of, let me see, in a tailwind.css. Let's search for responsive design, and here as you can see, if you are using the LG, the CSS property will just apply to the device width of 1024. But if you are using XL, maybe it will apply to 1280, and so on. In here we got the example of the usage. Now go back in here. If it is LG, it will width equal to auto. And then if it's LG, it will static. And if it's LG, it will block. And if it's LG, it will justify start. And for the item center, for the items, it's going to be center. Save it. Now let's see how it looks. It should be nothing for now because we are not adding some text or item inside of here. Let's fill it out. And now let's fill it out. And now I will put some button inside of here. I will make it button is going to be some HTML tag, and for the class name is equal to text white, and then cursor is equal to pointer, text is XL, loading known, px is 3. This is for padding right and left, and then padding, and for padding top and bottom is going to be 1, or py is 1, border, and then border solid, border transparent, rounded, and for the background is transparent, block, and if it's LG or the device width is LG, it will be hidden. For the outline is none, and if it's focus, if it's clicked, it will have an outline equal to none. And then here I'm going to put a new icon, but before that I will install the package for the icon first. The package is going to be a material UI, I guess. And now I'm going to install the package for the icon, and the package is going to be, if I'm not wrong, is, wait a second, material UI. I will CLS first, and then yarn add is add material UI slash core, the first one, and then space to install other package, and the next one is going to be material UI slash icons. After we write this command, enter to install it. I think, and if you are found a full tuner, and if you are finding some error when you are adding or installing some package, no need to worry, it will just some warning error. So you don't have to worry or fix it or anything else, just keep it like that. Now the installation is done, we can go back to our navbar.js, and in here I'm going to import some icon, but with a self-closing tag. That icon is going to be menu. I will search it in here if there's available for the import suggestion. Okay, there's no suggestion for that one, so maybe I will just import it by myself. Wait a second. On top of this, I'm going to import menu from material UI icons and save it. Now let's see how it looks first. We got nothing. Oh yeah, because the button that we just added is just will show when the device width is below of 1024, because there is the device width set inside of the LG in here. So if our device is below this width, the button will show. But if the width screen is equal to LG or greater than LG, it will not show or hidden. Still loading. Wait a second. Okay, it is already loaded, but we still got our icon here. This icon is supposed to be hidden when it is LG. Let me see. There is nothing error inside of this navbar.jsx, but we are wrong setting in a Tailwind config.js. So in here, instead of just giving HTML and JS, we should adding or replacing this one with a new one. There's something like JS, JSX, CSS, and then TSX. So why our navbar is not working? It is because in here we are not putting the JSX extension so that our Tailwind can be loaded inside of here. After we add that, it's supposed to be working now, and as you can see, our menu icon is disappear. Now let's add some more item after this button menu. So I think that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the bell notification so that you know when I'm updating this playlist. And thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.